Well, leftists still think black people look like animals or creatures, and Wizards of the Coast is run by cowards. What else is new? Welcome back, YouTube. It's your old pal Double D. We are back for some monkey business today. That's right. Before we get into that, if you could go ahead and like this video and subscribe if you like this type of content, it would mean a lot to me. I thank you. Today we're looking at the Hadozee issue going around, and what a can of worms this is. All right, so let me see if I can give you the Reader's Digest version. The Hadozee are a race of monkey-like people in the new Spelljammer release from Wizards of the Coast. They've been around a while. They were in the first edition of Spelljammer, and before that, under a different name, they were in Star Frontiers. But in this new edition of Spelljammer, Wizards of the Coast gave them a new background. What is this background? Well, a wizard visits a planet of, I think, unintelligent monkeys, gives them a super serum, elixir, potion, makes them intelligent so that they can do his bidding. The wizard's apprentices, along with the Hadozee themselves, overthrow the wizard, kill him, and now they got their freedom, and now they're free to travel the cosmos. To me, it just kind of sounds more like an animal experimentation, almost more like a Planet of the Apes type situation, if you remember those movies from back in the day. That is not what we're dealing with here. Yeah, nothing can be face value because there are several thousand certified crazy people on Twitter who have nothing better to do than go around and look for things to be outraged over. And this was one of them. So why were they outraged? Well, they had a problem with that background, for one. They said it paralleled the African slave trade a little too much. These people see monkeys, they see orcs, and they see African people. What does that tell you about them? These are the worst people in the world, bar none. No question. If you find yourself politically or socially aligned with them, get yourself right and examine why. They have nothing but evil, evil, evil in their hearts. Another thing they seized on was a picture, and this was actually in the, I think, the player creation section. There was one picture of a Hadozee with like a mandolin or some musical instrument, and they said, aha, that parallels a racist image back in the day. This is where their mind immediately goes. They think the same way the people who created those minstrel images in the 20s think. Nobody else thinks like that now. Everybody else sees, that's a monkey-like creature, an intelligent ape with a mandolin. Right before that, in the player creation section, are the Gith. The Gith are racist slaves. They got enslaved by the mind flayers. Funny how these same people had no issues with them at all. It's because when they look at the Gith, they don't see black people. When they see monkeys, they see black people because they're horrible. So what happened? Well, these people pestered and threatened and bullied Wizards of the Coast into admitting they had done something wrong when they didn't do anything wrong. But Wizards of the Coast is full of cowards and people like Chris Perkins. And they immediately backpedaled and said that this was not properly vetted and that it would be changed in the future. So I guess I have a collector's item on my hand here. Not that I care. If you're going to say that it wasn't properly vetted, who's the lead editor of this? It's Chris Perkins, right? Well, I did a video on Chris Perkins. Chris Perkins is not a good guy. It's safe to say if you're even slightly right of center, Chris Perkins hates you. If you voted for Trump, he probably wants you in a shallow grave somewhere. So let me ask you this, Wizards of the Coast. If this wasn't properly vetted, isn't that the responsibility of your lead editor, Chris Perkins? What are you going to do to him? Should he not be punished? I mean, normal people have no problem with this, but if this is the game you're going to play, if you're going to kowtow to these people, then guess what? You got to have some consequences. But something tells me that Chris is going to keep his job because he has the right politics and apparently just lets something slide by him. So this game is being controlled by a few thousand lunatics on Twitter. I hope you're realizing that by now. That they don't have the final say in their own game. It's a couple thousand weirdos with nothing better to do than tweet and retweet all day long. So I really, really hope you consider this when you're buying the new edition of D&D, because it will be ghost written by every lunatic you see on Twitter. Something to keep in mind, right? All right. Well, that's going to do it for today. I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and I will catch you later on. Goodbye.